What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full Rainbow Rocket Giovanni team. Now this was my very favorite part of Ultra Sun and Moon, so I definitely wanted to cover a theme team around this. Now, for the t-shirts, people, we do have a sort of a finalized design. If you'd like to go check that one out, that's on my Twitter. I've left as a pinned comment on there. Now, any feedback on the video, theme teams, put it below in the comment section. Now, I've got some featured artwork. If you guys want to actually submit some fan art or anything, I've actually got that at the latter end of the video. If you think you're pretty good at drawing or you just want to submit something funny, please submit it to my Twitter, Pimpnite YT, and if you are lucky, you'll get picked and put in the video. Right, so I was very much looking forward to using this team. I've got some amazing sets to use. So I've got my Rhyperior as the lead this time, and we've got a Ledian lead. Now, this was a battle on my chat against Ian. If you people do want to battle me, that is in the description of the video too. I take battles at a random time every day. All right, so Ledian goes down. I thought it might have Focus Sash or something, then, get the Sword Dance off, but that wasn't the item it was running. Now, this is where the battle got pretty tough. I had to really beware for this one. So, this Pokemon obviously is very, very bulky already. Now, I thought to swap in my Dugtrio here because I wanted to try something pretty fun. Unfortunately, it's going to land a Toxic on me, which really did counter my strategy. Let me go over what my Dugtrio strategy was. It was so scummy. So I had max health, max speed. I had the Sand Veil ability with Sandstorm, which is going to increase my evasiveness in the Sandstorm. Also had Bright Powder on it as well. I had Mud Slap to get that 100% actually drops. I had Sandstorm, obviously, I had Substitute, and I had Magnitude, see if we can pop those Magnitude 10s. And the idea was just to basically make the opponent not be able to hit you, hide behind the Substitute, and just cause some real rage. Now, the Rhyperior was a choice spec set. I had Ancient Power, Earth Power, Surf, and Thunder. I had Solar Rock as the ability, and choice specs Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. So it was a pretty fun set to run, and I got some decent moves off its special move pool to use too. Anyway, so this is going to use Bulk Up. Now, this thing is already super tanky already, so I was thinking, how am I actually going to take this thing out? Like, the sets that I was running were not, they weren't super hard hitting, so I had to think of something to get around this. Anyways, so unfortunately my Dugtrio got hit by the Toxic and the Bind, so my strategy was basically sunk. I couldn't swap out. I was already Toxic. There was really nothing I could do. And our Magnitude wasn't probably going to do lots anyway. So I thought the best course of action here would be to go to Mud Slap, just see if I can get as many of them off and hopefully swap my next Pokemon in, or maybe at least cause a swap. And hopefully all the attacks would miss, or some of them would miss. Anyway, it's got the leftovers too, so basically any damage I'm doing is pretty much recovering there. I could go for Magnitude, but I thought the Mud Slap would be the higher priority here. Anyway, so Bind is going to take me out since it has that effect at each end of the turn. It obviously isn't affected by Accuracy. So Dugtrio is down, which sucks. So I've got to take this thing out. So swapping in my Nidoqueen here. Now this was a special sweeping Nidoqueen. Now I had Focus Energy and Scope Lens on this. So going for the Focus Energy, I need to get some 100% crits on this thing. So Bind hits again. I'm like, oh, damn it. And that's going to trap in my Nidoqueen. Since there's a couple of bulk ups on the Beware as well, and it's Stab, it's doing a little bit more damage. So it's basically got most of its health back already. So now I'm going to go for the Scope Lens Sludge Wave. So I've got Focus Energy, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, and Earth Power on this one. I've got Sheer Force ability too. So going for the Sludge Wave, and it still doesn't do enough damage. It's about a 2-hit KO to take out the bear. And it's going to go for a Drain Punch. Even though I resist that, it still does lots of damage because I'm obviously a sweeper, and it's got a couple of bulk ups up already. So with that Drain Punch and the leftovers, that's going to make it a 3-hit KO, and the Sandstorm does subside as well. It's like, oh, damn it. So I'm trapped in again by the Bind. So the next Bind, I'm definitely going to go down. Alright, so going for another Sludge Wave on the Beware. I was like, I can't say I'm hoping for a crit because it's always going to be a crit. And it just lives that one. Unfortunately, it's going to be able to take me out with a Drain Punch. But good thing I had that, that 100% crit Nidoqueen. That really got the Beware down in low health. So now I can either I can't swap in my Rhyperior because it's going to get outsped by Beware. And just use, Drain Punch, get all its health back. And I'm not going to be able to do enough damage with my attack. So my only option here was to send in 2 of my other Pokemon, so I swapped in my Nidoqueen. Now, this Nidoqueen is probably the best set I had on my team. It was a physical set, a Hone Claws Sweeper. I had Hone Claws, Poison Jab, Ice Punch, and Earthquake, Life Orb, and Sheer Force. I had Jolly Nature on this, and Max Health, Max Attack. Obviously, Hone Claw's made up for you using Jolly Nature, and you want to have as much speed as possible. Unfortunately, it's going to live the Poison Jab, and I probably should have just gone for the Earthquake to take it out, but I thought they may actually swap. So I went for the Earthquake this time. Like, this would be enough to take it out. At least I'm going to resist their attacks, right? And it lives on like 1 health. Actually, that was like 13 health, right? That's 13 health. But since Pokemon with such a high health stat don't really look like, you know, it looks like a little bit of health, but it's still got a fair bit amount left. Anyway, so Bind misses, thank goodness. I'm going to go for the Earthquake and take the Beware out. Man, this thing was such a pain in the butt. So it's finally down. I've still got 3 Pokemon remaining. So obviously with this Giovanni team, Giovanni only has 5 Pokemon to use. So I've only got 5 Pokemon to use on this team. I'm sure you can guess what the last Pokemon is. I had a really excellent set for that, but I'll let you know in a bit. So now, Kinnikin's going to go for the U-turn. I'm like, that's not Kinnikin. So I knew straight away that was going to be Zoroark, right? So that's going to swap out. And now we have the Noctowl coming in here. Now I went for Earthquake. Since I'm not like banned or anything, I was like, that's kind of fine because I can go for the Ice Punch here against that. Noctowl doesn't have the greatest defense in the world, and that's going to be super effective against that, and that's going to one-shot the Noctowl. Wonder what that set would have been. Anyway, so now we have the Zoroark coming out again. I know that it's probably going to be the Zoroark. Now it's going to go for the knockoff, which definitely says it's a Zoroark, and that's going to take out my Nidoking. That's all good. I've still got 2 more Pokemon to go. So I've got my Rhyperior now. I can't really swap in my last Pokemon because it's going to be kind of weak against it. So I need Rhyperior to actually do some damage to it. So I thought, let's go for the Earth Power. That'll hit all the Pokemon that are remaining best. Low Kick does about, it's about a 3-hit KO. So going for the Earth Power Specs, and it just lives, unfortunately, and the Zoroark is going to get, it's showing up now. So I can finish off with another Earth Power. It's going to go for the knockoff, which is going to knock off my Choice Specs. That's fine. That sort of like frees me up. So going for the Earth Power, taking out the Zoroark. But that was a bit of a problem for my team. Obviously, my team, as you can see, is very weak against like ground type and water type moves. So that was a really big problem too. So now we have Aurorus coming in. Once again, I was a little bit worried about this because it had obviously it's got Ice type move with their Hyper Voice Refrigerate, and that's just going to demolish my Rhyperior. So I've only got 1 more Pokemon left, so I gotta get back into this game. So my last Pokemon obviously is Mewtwo. Now I had a really cool Mewtwo set. This was actually a bulky Mewtwo. So I've got one from Gen 1 with Seismic Toss. So this one was a Wonder Room, Recover, Toxic, and Seismic Toss Mewtwo. Obviously, it's got the ability is Unnerve, and the item is Mewtwo X. So we need a little bit more bulk on this one. So I went for the max health, max defense. So what I did with Wonder Room, right, I wanted to change my stats around so I can make it bulky on both sides, which I thought would be good for this set. Recover to recover off any damage, Toxic to toxic the opponent, and Seismic Toss to get some fixed damage as well. I just wanted to make like a fun set. Like, obviously this Pokemon is very, very powerful, so I just wanted to nerf it down a bit and try and make something cool. Anyway, so the Aurorus is going to go for the Z move here. Now, it's going to be a Normalium Z. I'm guessing it's coming off Hyper Voice. Now, Hyper Voice, I believe, doesn't get the boost from, like, it doesn't get Refrigerate boost, so that's going to hit me for normal. So that's still going to do some heavy damage to me. So it does around half damage to my Mewtwo. Now, I got paralyzed earlier on. Now, that paralyzed there actually changed the game a fair bit. You'll actually see why in the latter end of the game. So anyways, I got to get past this Aurorus. I got the Toxic on it, which is good. Now, the thing I'm worried about here is if I get paralyzed and I'm not going to be able to attack. And if the Wonder Room runs out, I'm going to get hit by the special attacks a lot harder, right? So I get critted by Earth Power there, which sucks. I do get the Recover off, which is really good. So that's going to get most of my health back. Now I can start to go for Seismic Toss. If they do swap into the Kiddikins, that's going to take Seismic Toss as well. And that doesn't have a hell of a lot of health, so I know that's going to be about a 3-hit KO with that move. Anyway, so Aurorus is going to go for another Earth Power. It's not really doing much, because of the Wonder Room, which has made my... Let's put it this way, like Wonder Room will make... Say if I'm bulky in defense, right, and I switch to the defense and the special defense around, that'll make me bulky in special defense. It doesn't have anything to do with stat changes, it just has to do with like raw base stat. Anyway, so go for Recover again, letting that toxic damage rack up a little bit more on my Mewtwo. And I really need to take this thing out before it hits me with like a really, really hard special attack. All right, so the 5 turns are off. The Wonder Room is now gone, so I'm going to get hit by a fairly hard attack. Now, this is going to be the Hyper Voice. I knew this was going to do over half or at least half my health, and it does a lot of damage to me. I get paralyzed, which sucks. However, the Toxic is on the Aurorus, and that's going to be enough to take it out, so that's good. Now, the last Pokemon is the Kinnigans. Now, as I said, if this is like a more of a sweeping set or it's a tanky set, I wasn't really sure. It can be like a couple of things. Obviously, it's got, obviously it's got Everlight. Anyway, so it's going to go for the Fire Spin now. I'm thinking, okay, it's probably going to be it could be the Fire Spin Toxic Trapping Wish set. I went for Recover anyway, just in case it wasn't, and I just wanted to see what it does. So anyways, if it does have Toxic, it can't poison me because I'm already paralyzed earlier from the Aurora, so I believe that poisoned me. Paralyzed me. Anyway, so it's going to go for Protect, so I'm guessing it definitely is the Everlight bulky special defense set. Now, the thing about this is it can't poison me. It's only going to go for the Fire Spin, and I'm going to be trapped in getting that fixed damage. However, it's not really doing too much for me. Now, I've got Toxic on my set, and that's going to be enough to definitely take out the Kinnikins, unless I always have a habit of calling it Kinnikins, I just, from the trading game. Anyway, unless it has, like, Rest or something, which, it probably wouldn't because it gets access to Wish. Anyways, the Kinnikin's going to go for the Fire Spin. It misses again. That horrible accuracy on Fire Spin, I really did hate that one as well. Actually, out of the Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y, I quite like the design of X better than Y. I just looked more tanky, right? I liked it, and I like how it was more of a physical side too. Anyway, so it doesn't have Rest, it's going to have Wish, which I thought it would, and I'm going for the Seismic Toss here on that, and I love Seismic Toss animation so much. So that does a fair amount of damage, so it's about 3 to 4 hit KO, I think, judging on how much health it has. Obviously, it does 50 fixed damage every time. Now, I thought to go for Recover here, but I thought I could go for Recover or I could go for a Seismic Toss. Decided to go for the Seismic Toss instead of going for a Recover, so I thought that'd be too predictable going for Recover. And it almost takes it out, and the Wish is going to recover lots of its health back. However, the Toxic is going to do a nice amount of damage to it, so the next Seismic Toss will be enough to take it out. Now I was thinking, will it go for the Protect here or will it attack me? I decided to go for the Seismic Toss. Fire Spin misses, and that's going to be enough to take out the Kinnikins, and a good game there. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Probably my most favorite set to how this was the Mewtwo. It was a very fun set to use. It was like more bulky than your typical offensive one. And I like the Wonder Room. It's a really cool move. I really want to do like a team based around Wonder Room. It's a very interesting move you just don't ever see. Alright, so we have another battle on my chat. This one was against Brendan. So we have a Rampardos lead here. I'm going to set up my Scummy Sand. I really want this set to work. I wanted to get some salt. Anyway, so Rampardos, of course, is going to hit me through the Sand Veil and the Bright Powder. I mean, there's still a decent chance to hit me, of course. And since I'm running max health on Dugtree, I live the Rampardos' Earthquake, which is quite funny. So now I'm going for the Mud Slap. So it's got a -1 in accuracy. I've got my Sand Veil, and I've got my Bright Powder up, and it still hits me. Oh, no. Poor Dugtree. Dugtree actually did perform rather well in some other battles, but these two battles, it just didn't happen. That's the thing with accuracy. Sometimes it doesn't matter how many you have up. You can still be unlucky and get hit. Anyway, so sending in the big boy here, I can either go for the Surf or for the Earth Power. So I'm going to get hit by the Iron Head. Since I've got Solar Rock, it's really not going to do too much to me, and I'm very bulky as well. I've got max health. So going for the Earth Power, that's going to be way too much for Rampardos to survive. Even with Rhyperia's really bad special attack. Rampardos' special defense isn't really that great either. Alright, so now we have Helois. I got that, this reminds me of that shiny I caught on the stream the other day. Also, thanks to all the people that rocked up to the shiny stream. That was really, really fun. We'll definitely be doing that again. Now, it's going to take me out with Surf. That's fine. I kind of saw that one coming, so I almost called that Rampardos. Rhyperior is down. So I've got 3 Pokemon left. Now I thought I could swap in my Nidoqueen here and go for the Earth Power. There could be a slight chance I could live a Surf too. Nidoqueen's a little bit more bulkier than like Nidoking, so I thought to send that in. It's going to go for the Hyper Voice, however. It does a lot of damage to me, about 3/4. I'm going to go for the Earth Power, which is Stab on my Nidoqueen. That's going to be enough to take out Helois. Maybe they didn't go for Surf because I thought I might have like Weakness Policies or something like that. I'm not too sure. I could have swapped in Mewtwo there as well. That was an option. Anyway, so now we have Drampa coming in. I can't really do too much of this. The best I can really go for is like the Sludge Wave and like hope I get a critical hit. There's no room for me to set up Focus Energy at all. This thing is hits really hard. So now it's going to go for a Hyper Voice itself, and there's no way I'm going to be able to live that. It's got massive special attack, and that's Stab coming from Drampa. Now, I've got my Nidoking with Ice Punch, so I thought, let's swap that in. Let's finish the Drampa off with the Ice Punch and see where I'm at in this point in the game. So going for the Ice Punch from the Nidoking, and that's going to be enough to take out the Drampa. I did not want that living and getting a Berserk, because that would have been bye-bye Nidoking. It probably would have been bye-bye Nidoking anyway, but just I was thinking more along the lines for my Mewtwo. So now we have Clefable coming in. I cannot afford for this thing to set up any like cosmic powers or anything like that. Going for the poison jab and that one shot, I thought it actually might live. Maybe it was more of a sweeping one. I'm not too sure. Anyways, so that's 4 Pokemon down. Now we have the Serena coming in. So I could go for the Poison Jab here. I thought it could outspeed me though, if it is running max speed or it's scarfed or something like that. So I'm going to swap that out and go into my Mewtwo now. I want to see what moves this thing has because my Mewtwo isn't really effective by moves like Trop Kick and things like that. I thought it would be carrying that. So that's going to hit me fairly hard. I guess now I'm going to go for my Mega Evo here and I'm going to go for the Toxic. Now they actually swap out the Serena and go into a Swords Buck. So I'm thinking, okay, I could bet if this is a physical set, I know that I can take this one really easy. So anyway, I went for the Toxic, and I didn't actually Mega Evolve this at this stage in the game. Now, Swordsbuck can carry Aromatherapy, but I thought, nah, it's probably not going to have that, so I'm pretty good. So going for the Mega Evo now. Now, obviously, upon Mega Evo, Evolution, I can actually get more of a buff in my defense too. Like, actually, my special defense goes up and my defense goes up as well, which is nice. So it makes me even more tanky. So throwing Swordsbuck to the moon, and it's about a 3-hit KO with Seismic Toss. So it's going to go for a Secret Power. Obviously, this is a Secret Power. I'd say this has Serene Grace, so it's trying to boost the chance of me getting paralyzed. It's going to eat a berry too and get a fair amount of its health back, so that's a Citrus Berry. So I quite like having, the Swordsbuck having Serene Grace. It's quite fun. I've actually run a special one and a physical one that works rather nicely. So going for the Seismic Toss again, Swordsbuck's going to go for the Secret Power, and this time the Secret Power paralyzed me. I was like, I knew that was going to happen. So Mewtwo is paralyzed. Now Swordsbuck is on its last legs. It's going to probably be able to use like one more move, and then it's going to go down to the Toxic. So now it's going to go for another Secret Power and isn't enough to take me out, and I'm going to finish off the Swordsbuck with the Seismic Toss. You guys have got to try out this bulky Mewtwo. It's quite fun. So the last Pokemon is the Serena. I know that's going to be enough to outspeed me. It's probably going to be enough to take me out too, because I've seen that Trop Kick damage a little bit earlier on in the game, and it did probably about, ×2 of the damage that I had left. Anyway, so it's going to hit me the Trop Kick, and that is my Mewtwo down. So the last Pokemon I've got left is my Nidoking. Oh my goodness. So I can go for Poison Jab against this. This is my best bet. It's going to be 4 times as well. So I thought, even if I get an attack drop right, this should be enough to actually take it out. So Trop Kick does a lot of damage to me, so it's a very offensive set. Going for the Poison Jab on the Nidoking, and that is enough to take it out. And that is game. I hope you guys enjoyed both these. Check out the fan art at the end of this video, and I've got a bonus battle and some pretty funny bloopers. Peace, people. Do, 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 do.